Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook, and let's have a look at what we've got in store for this Friday the 8th of November. So, first things first, let's just have a quick look at news events today, just so we can see what's coming out. In fact, we should just run over yesterday. No surprises here at all yesterday, with interest rates being cut both in the UK and the US, same amount now, so we just sit in step. Yeah, little to be done there at this stage, and the comments that were coming out from the statement are not particularly bullish or bearish. They're sort of leaning towards further cuts, so they're on the right side of things. Right, today then we've got effectively the Canadian non-farms coming out there at 1:30 today. It gives us everything else free to trade now. Freedom, hurrah! But there's the slight bias now that the dollar's being sold a little bit, but not massively. If you look through here yesterday, yep, when the news came out, the euro popped up here. This is the overall gauge at 1:30. It came out. So on this 1 o'clock, barely moved, but it did continue pushing up, softening a little bit. Question then today, as we go into these technicals, are we going to see more of the same this morning? Let's just come out the time frame so we can see what's going on here. Daily wise at the moment, well, was that a dead cat bounce yesterday? Are we going to see a continuation to the downside or more upside? Now, when you get to the 4-hourly and lower time frames, it becomes a little bit more of a question, because you've got a bear flag sitting there on the daily on the 4-hourlies, and then you've effectively got a little bull flag sitting there on the hourlies. So got to let it show us its hand somewhat. I don't expect a lot of movement today. We've got over the key news this week. Everything's out. It could be one of those mornings and days that's a little bit choppy. There's no significant reason in terms of news coming out to impact it. Yes, I'm sure we'll hear further data coming from Trump, etc. Now that's going to be a continuous thing, just as it was for the 4 or 5 years, or 4 years, isn't it? He was there last time, but we just got to deal with that. Anyway, it's really a case of where to from here, and I'm sort of got a sneaking suspicion we could be running to see the euro just picking up a little bit. I know he's good for the dollar overall, but old Trump, but we've still got to manage what's in front of us at the moment before he gets here. So we could see a little bit more of a rise here. Right, the pound, quite a similar-ish picture. It rallied a little bit more yesterday, or it went up a little bit more yesterday than the dollar did, and it's possibly the easier one for the upside in terms of the amount it came up yesterday, whereas the dollar's come up 61.8 maybe. This is sort of running into 860s, 860s sort of area, so it's pulled up quite a lot more. And you can it's quite a nice flag sitting there. I would love to see it hit its daily pivot first, and then look to see if we get a break of the what's appearing there at the moment. If it just rolls over, it's a bit like the euro really. If it just rolls over, I'll leave it. But from what I can see at the moment, we could be getting closer back to the sort of direction we were originally moving in. US dollar yen. Well, the yen continued to soften yesterday. I was looking for something more to the downside here. In fact, I've gone on to the weekly picture here. I've just managed to, there we go. Let's get that back up there. Let's get the daily, that's better. Is that the daily? That's the weekly. Moved them around. There's the daily, that's better. So it's been softening the yen, continuing to soften. The dollar strengthening against the yen. Well, mostly yesterday. This is a bit more questionable, the yen, but we have seen quite a retrace since that. It's come off. Actually, I'm looking at it on a 4-hourly basis now. Looking at it on an hourly basis, yeah, it's coming off a bit better. Maybe this will continue to the downside as well. You just got to look at the sort of trends that we were seeing before the election news, and they were sort of running pretty much descending here, a descending channel, but previously you could see more of the same running through. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar yesterday ran to its underside of its monthly pivot, reacted off of that. Again, well, I say again, different on here because it's broken its prior high there. The Aussie dollar was actually losing ground over the week before the data coming out there to a degree. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Beg pardon. Just looking at the hourlies now, a bit more data in front of you. It was rising as well. And again, we could see same sort of picture here. We're not too far away from the daily pivot here. A bit like the pound and everything else. I'd rather trade the pound than the Aussie, to be fair. If I was trading any of these, the pound looks to me the better opportunity for the upside. US dollar CAD. Okay, it made some ground yesterday back to the downside, the CAD. So remember, in this US dollar CAD, so we're looking for the CAD when it's strengthening. This pair is coming off. Again, we've got this sort of bearish flag, sort of. Well, it's a bear flag in this case. See what it does. My preference all through all of this. The yen's doing quite well actually because it's already below its pivot and it's moving in the downside. But really my preference still sits there with the pound dollar. Okay, it's just quickly the New Zealand dollar. Expect to see more similar to the Australian. Just going to run through these on the hourlies. US dollar Swissy still chopping along as it's good at doing. Euro yen sliding off a little bit with that stronger yen coming through here this morning, but it's not a pretty pair to be trading. Maybe it'll start doing something a little bit easier, but it's not straightforward at the moment. Euro pound not really doing too much. Euro Aussie, Euro Aussie. I was looking at this yesterday. This is one that I was considering trading. It's I put the 3 white lines here. You can make the difference between these and the pivots, of course, but I'll put the 3 lines in here. This is what I was really looking for, a breakdown here, and it still hasn't hit its target here. Might catch it today, but I didn't take the trade. It's too risky with all the news coming out, Fed and etc., and I just didn't want to. But it hasn't hit target so far. See what it does this morning, but does look still a bit iffy there. Okay, other pairs, regular pairs, Euro CAD. It's all tight and not really going anywhere. Some of these other pairs, so I had Aussie CAD highlighted here as well, but that's looking for more continuation to the upside. That's probably one of the cleaner ones, looking quite similar to the pound and the Aussie dollar. Actually, to be fair, they're all very similar here. Still for this morning, my preference is on the pound dollar. Right, there we go. Other markets then, let's just have a look at gold. It's down a bit today at the moment. Whoa, let's have a look, big picture here. So coming back a bit again this morning. It recovered yesterday halfway, but struggling a little. It's looking like, well, okay, see how it does. It could find a bit of support off of where it is now. We could see some a turnaround, but I'd wait on this basis. Wait for the top of the flaggy pattern that's sitting there, see if it can break through that area. Oil also down just over 0.5% today to where it closed yesterday, but daily wise it's got into a bit of an ugly chop here, and this quarterly pivot is providing the resistance for that. Now it got close to it previously. It's got close to it. Well, it actually hit it yesterday, but looking a bit sort of, well, that's providing resistance at the moment. It's forming a bit of a wedge pattern with the highs there and the rising lows. Now a wedge in an uptrend would suggest it could, if it breaks the top there, it could push on for the depth of the wedge. Okay, the S&Ps, well, these made all new time highs again yesterday, and they're just pushing up there again today. Already looked like they'd already made some new highs. That was yesterday, but they're not far off from making new highs. Again, they're difficult to get into because you really want to retrace. You want a bit of a movement, and I certainly wouldn't look to sell any of these markets. There's a Dow Jones. I mean, yesterday Dow Jones was a bit slower yesterday. It did continue rising for a bit, but it's chopped. It hasn't pushed through in the same way. But there's certainly not markets for me to be selling. And the Nasdaq is up 0.08 today. So it's just the wrong way. Okay, that's it pretty much. FTSE. Let's have a look at the FTSE. FTSE is ugly as sin on the hourly still, just chopping along. You look at it on the bigger time frames, and it's such a mess. My swing trading hat suggests just stay well away from this. My day trading hat is thinking it's neither halfway up or halfway down, or is it? Okay, probably is. It's both. The DAX this morning, well, yesterday I was questioning whether we would see more of a rollover there. It did eventually catch the bounce there, just consolidating a little where it is at the moment. This looks like it's got some scope for upside today. Just looking at the big bull flag there, and of some of the equity markets we're looking at, this possibly looks one of the cheerier ones maybe. Right, okay, so in summary, I'm really looking at that pound dollar. See if we can get a move off of that this morning. It's just coming back down towards the pivot at the moment. As I said, if it breaks the pivot and starts rolling over, I'll leave it for now, but it may have an opportunity. Right, I'll leave it there. Have a great day's trading, and I'll catch you Monday morning bright and early. Bye for now.